What's up, fam? Welcome back to Chasing Florida. I'm coming to you from the top of the boat right here, a Mako 171 that was recently repowered. I've been away for a minute, guys. I've been working on this boat, several projects, but mainly the repower. After I did this Rhodan install, which you can see down below, right here, I'll leave a link for you guys. The engine blew on me. It was a 19-year-old Merc 2-stroke 115 ED PLTO. Don't quote me on that. I haven't seen the specs on that engine in a while, but basically I was running back from Milo and basically ran a flat, which I do all the time, and the engine overheated and ended up blowing the power head. So, you know, it was time for a change. The hull is solid on this boat. I mean, most Makos, most of these older Makos, I should say, have a super tough hull construction. So it was worth it. It was worth it. So we're gonna cut through some of that video for the entire repower process. But before I do so, guys, smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and make sure that you get notified when I put up new videos. Helps me keep the channel alive and actually helps keep things moving. So let's cut to that film now. Hope you guys enjoy. Walking through this repower process. I'm repowering the Mako 171. It's going to get a Suzuki 115 on a jack plate, 6-inch jack plate Atlas. I'm going to walk you through the shop. I'm here at Miami Total Marine. I actually was able to find a motor, which was awesome. And I'll show you the engine right now. So here you got 25 and the 20 115, which is my engine right here. Some of the rigging has already been installed, so I'm going to show you the boat. There's my cousin Ryan. What's up, bro? So here is some of the rigging's been done on top. The cables ran. I'll show you the transom. The transom and all the rigging has already been pushed through. All the cables have been pushed through. And right now, basically, they're waiting on the jack plate that's going to be installed right there. Again, that's an Atlas 6-inch jack plate. I'm going to get up on top of the boat so you can see some of the rigging that has been pushed through the boat helm. Here we go. So this is pretty much a new controller right there, and this is going to get obviously retrofitted. Some of the old gauges are coming out for the new digital gauge. I may just keep the old ones there just to give it a classic look. Right now, main electric one, or the main digital display, I'm sorry, that actually runs to the engine is going to be mounted right here. I'm assuming the guys over here are still working on it. And I'm going to keep you guys involved in the process. You'll see some of these videos sporadically, and at the end, we'll put it all together and show you the final product. So right over here, we already got the Suzuki 115 mounted up. Right there, you have the 20-inch shaft, and we got the Atlas jack plate already put in place. The guys here at Miami Total Marine have done a fabulous job in getting this done really quickly. Only 2 days. Put the ping pong scuppers in. It will sit a little further back since I'm creating a little bit more of a lever effect on it. There's a lot more leverage on the back of the boat now, but it will still run great, actually better than before. Checking with the rigging is almost all completed, and everything has been run through, and you can see the new gauge right there has already been installed with the new control there for the reverse and forward and throttle. Right, all that's left to do is change out some of the trims that are being changed out, like this rub rail is going to be changed out to white with the chrome in the middle. It's already at end life. It's been shrinking on us, so it's going to be put back together pretty soon, and then we'll show you what the entire completion of this repower looks like. Here at the back of the boat, because of what you saw earlier, I had a massive fuel leak. Right now, I'm going through a process of elimination, finding out whether it's the sender or maybe one of the hoses, maybe even the tank itself. Again, the boat's 19 years old. So as you saw in that video, it just overnight, that started leaking gas, and it was just all basically coming out through the bottom of the drain hole right here at the bottom by the bilge. But back to what you saw earlier, it's basically a Suzuki 115 and it's on an Atlas jack plate. I went ahead and installed also a twist and step ladder, which makes things easier to get on and off of for the boat. And basically there's not a lot of space back here to hang a ladder, guys. I know people hang them right back here by the back of this transom, and that's not really what I want to do. This is keep in mind, this is a notch transom, and people are going to ask me, oh, you know, why didn't you lift up the transom and whatever. You know, that's all cool, guys, but you know, this boat is designed to have a notch transom. I simply put the jack plate because I want a shallower draft when I hole shot, and I basically keep the actual outboard trimmed down at the level of what the original design of the boat was intended for. I don't jack this up really high when I'm running, and you shouldn't really do that because you can actually overheat the engine fairly easy. I mean, there are things that they sell to scoop up water and push water into the intake down there and keep things going, but I don't really need that. That's not the type of running that I do. So for the most part, I keep it just 3 inches, which is right where it was designed to sit. And I did add some trim tabs, which I did not include in the installation part that you saw earlier because I hadn't decided to do that yet. So what you see there are some Mako Marine trim tabs. They're basically the 10 by 12s, which is indicated for this Mako 171. I went ahead and added the ping pong scuppers, as you can see, just because you know, there is a little bit more leverage now on the back of the boat, but it actually turns out to bail a lot better than before because I have the trolling motor mounted up front with 3 Optima batteries, and I'll show you that. Again, you can see the trolling motor installation video, and you can see that also that way and see how I did that. You have that. Obviously the trim tabs are on both sides, and we'll get on top of the boat now and you can see what the final product is on top. So now that I'm up here, I'm going to show you what the rigging, or how the rigging was done. So there's basically your basic control. Just pretty much replaced the other one. Didn't have to drill out or anything like that. The guys at Miami Total Marine did an excellent job. Throttle control up down for the trim and tilt, and here's your bypass switch. Tab controls are right here, down and up, standard orientation. I don't like to flip them around. Jack plate control up and down, obviously same, actually inverted. That's up and that's down. That's the way it works. And that is the control, the main display here for the Suzuki 115. This is the main engine display. It's got a ton of settings. I'm not going to turn it on right now because the boat's out of the water. And you know, it's not a good idea. I'm not going to plug it up or put the ears on it and run it. It basically has a ton of options. You can check that out on their website. It'll show you RPMs. It'll show you the actual speed. It can actually give you some engine, the actual heat in the engine. If it's overheating or not, it'll shut down. It's got a nice safety mode. Interface with the NMEA connection to the Garmin. It's an additional module that you have to get and program, but that's already been done. So I actually have engine control displays here as well. And below is the part that I wanted to show you. Because of that gas tank problem that I had, I basically had to add a fuel cell here that you see down there. That's a 25-gallon fuel cell with the fill hose right here and the vent back there tucked neatly away that comes out of the side of the center console. And the Installation of that was fairly easy. It's actually routed to the gauge, so I can measure my fuel consumption. It's giving me about the same consumption as a two-stroke, and that is what I wanted to make this next point about. Two-stroke engines, I mean, this may cause a little bit of argument, and by all means comment below what your experience has been, but my experience is that they're actually less efficient. They're more torquey, give you a little bit better hole shot, but they have that big problem. They're absolute gas hogs. I decided to mix my fuel because I didn't want to rely on the pump on that old Mercury, and I did well in doing that. The engine lasted 19 years, as you can see, but that's one of the cons of the two-stroke. The other con of the two-stroke is that basically they're going out of style, man. Like they are not making any of them anymore. I think the last one that was making one was Evinrude, and they're already out, so they're out of the market, period. They're closed down, so you can't really get a two-stroke here in the US unless you get it used. So obviously I didn't want to go down that route, so I chose the four-stroke. The four-strokes nowadays are more efficient, in my opinion, than any two-stroke has ever been. This is a 2021 115, and it is absolutely excellent. It gives me about, I think, 3 gallons, close to 3, 2.8, which is fairly good for this engine. And keep in mind, it's not fully broken in. I still have it at, well, it is fully broken in, but it's still got some more breaking in to do. I have about 14 hours on it now, and it's a good time to do a review for it, so that's why I got it up here. I'm going to trim this up and show you the prop, because that's another consideration. For this engine, I decided to go with a Suzuki stainless steel prop. It is a 3-blade 14 by 19 pitch. You can see it right there. And that basically gets the boat up to about 6,000 RPMs, which is ideal operation for this engine. That's where you want it to go. While I'm topside here on the boat, on the deck, I might as well show you some things that I've done through the years. I've, redid the entire upholstery on this boat and powder coated all of these old aluminum grab rail, changed out the glass, something a little thicker. This is, I believe, 1/4 with the natural green tint color, and just changed out the rod holders to all white, did the trim in white inside here, and then added the trolling engine with a pop-up cleat. Old cleat was up there, and obviously down here I have the 4 Optimas with the Mako charger right there with a 60 amp breaker, and the Mako plug there, obviously to charge with the extension cord. To make it very quick, I don't even have to open this hatch right here when I want to charge those batteries, and I get about 8 hours with them, which is pretty good. And I mean 8 hours if I'm running it non-stop. If I'm in a spot lock, I mean, it may last me even longer than that, closer to 12 hours, I think. Obviously I have a measuring tape up top, and then through the back of the boat, obviously there's more upholstery work done here, and that's about it. The boat is super solid, especially for what I want it for. And I'll show you what I did up here to mount my trolling motor. This is a Rhodan, right? 72 inch, and it's a 36 volt system, 120 pounds of thrust. These Makos aren't designed to pretty much bow mount a trolling motor like this. I mean, you can, but it's not really made for that. Doesn't come with a mount from the factory. So what I did was create a piece of starboard here to give it essentially a flush mount to this let's just say lip that goes over the front of the gunnel. That made it level, so it's about 1 inch from the deck up, and I mounted my puck there so that this trolling engine can essentially hang over the side or the front of the boat, about 2 inches separation from the rub rail, and that's how I'm able to run this engine. So again, little projects, right? And is this worth it, guys? Well, I feel like Grand Thumb right now. Is your boat worth it, right? What do you want to do when it comes to, let's say, being put in a situation like this? I never thought it would happen. I knew eventually I would have to repower the engine and eventually change out the gas tank, because those are things that just go bad on a boat, so consider that. Some manufacturers recommend that you check your gas tank every 10 years, and I did, and it was actually really good. So it was obviously comes as a surprise to me that I have to now deal with that, but it's part of maintenance. Now, as far as repowering, do you want to go down that route? Well, do you like your boat? Is your boat seaworthy? Does it have a solid hull? Are its stringers intact? There are a lot of things to consider. I checked this boat out from, you know, pretty much tip to butt, and it's sound, and there's no cracks anywhere. There's no cracks below, no soft points on the deck. Spider cracks, common on this boat. I've fixed a lot of them, but they're right over the stringers where the center console is, so that's not going to be an issue for me. If you want a bigger boat, then don't go down this route. Sell the boat and get yourself another one. But if you're happy with the size boat you have, then repower it. Right now, boats are more expensive than they ever have been, and it doesn't show, or it doesn't seem to show that it's actually going to let up anytime soon. They're getting more expensive by the day, and that was another consideration for me. I didn't want to go and blow a budget on a new boat when I was perfectly fine with this boat. It's what I wanted for. I wanted to fish inshore. I like to catch tarpon, snook, you know, inshore species, reds, sea trout. That's primarily what I do. Can I take it offshore? Sure, I can. Mako 171s have been spotted offshore for the past 20 years, and they do great out there on a nice day. It's not fun on a bad day. It's a smaller boat, and it is intended as a bay boat, and I've converted it into a fishing boat, and that's what I intend to do with it. So again, consider what you are going to be doing, and that'll give you your answer. I got nothing else for you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.